Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a Catseye dungeon tutorial, but it's not really a tutorial because I'm not teaching you the dungeon fully in itself. I'm more so showing you one way to do it, and it's the way that I was using to leech people through the dungeon. Helped me make a lot of commas, helped me level up my own characters. That way I didn't have to pay to level them up, right? And sort of how I did the Protosaur dungeon, where it's like one specific technique, which I showed you guys with the Eliotrope. This is kind of the same. Now the thing is, I sold my gear for my team that I was using to leech, but I have a friend here who actually does leech the dungeon, and they're about to run, so we're going to spectate them, and I'll teach you using their fight. Now it's not really going to make any difference whether it's me fighting or him fighting, because it's the exact same fight, exact same setup, exact same gear. So I'm going to show you the technique, and then after that I'll show you like Dofus books or Dofus labs, I guess, at the end for the gear, because some of the gear is very important, especially like the Feka and a little bit the rogue and stuff. So let's just get going. I'll tell him we're ready, and then we're going to spectate and see how it goes. Alright, so here we see they are about to start the fight. This is the Catseye dungeon. The idle composition is a 219 score, which is a very common one. It's also the one that's used for Nidas leeching. It's a Great Yosh, Yosh, Major Yosh, whatever, Nekiniko, and a minor Dynamo. Hi YouTube, he says. That's funny. Okay, so those are the idle composition, and there's also a combat modifier. Right now it's Elemental Roulette, which won't really affect the fight. You can see the way that he sets up is that you're going to put the two pandas right there. You're going to put the two pandas right there, or he might put one forward closer to the boss, and then the Feka down bottom left, and the rogue just right of that. So those are the starting positions. They're important. Turn one, basically he's just going to give himself MP, pick up the rogues, and pick up all the leechers and throw them in because he wants them to die. And he's going to pick up the Catseye and put him right there, right where he put him. Wish I could show you. Ugh, I can't point, but you guys can see my cursor. He's going to put it right there. Why is that important? Because in Catseye dungeon, every cell has a number, and those numbers, depending where Catseye finishes, is going to change how the map looks. So right now, if you look at the map, you can see there's all these dice and this different configuration. These change depending where Catseye finishes his turn. So if you can keep him on a particular cell with a particular number, then the setup of the map is going to be different. So turn one, first panda who's put closer to the Catseye is going to put him on that cell. It can work on the opposite side as well, but that cell is better because the Feka is put on that side. But you know, technically it's a symmetrical map. You could put it on the other side. The Feka's job, the whole fight is just going to be to lock. So he's going to go lock and put gravity state. Now, the Feka has 3 spells to put gravity state. One's inertia, one's barrier, and one's the gravity glyph. You're going to have to alternate with those spells to make sure that the Catseye is always in gravity state. You also need to have over 351 lock and a Jessica belt. Let's see if I can show you it here. So I can't, but I can show it to you here. So minus 50 dodge, that's because the Feka has the Lady Jessica belt. And that's very important because it gives minus 50 dodge, and you need at least 351 lock and that belt to make sure that the Catseye doesn't move. So once the Catseye is locked here, you're going to see that at the end of its turn, the map's going to change. And that configuration of the map is what we're going to keep for the whole fight for the setup. You also notice that the rogue put his bombs over there. So the way that I used to count it is from the diagonal. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then left. And then just 1, 2, 3 here, and then the other one here. The reason that one's there is because dice are not going to be summoned, and you're going to see. So this is the configuration of the map that we're going to use. So the first few turns, the pandas are just going to keep everything back while the rogue has time to boost his bombs over here. You show a cell, but no one realizes, whatever. Anyways, so the Feka is keeping locked here, and then the rogue has to boost his bombs. So there's a latent over here, and one down here. This one here is just going to be useful to get back AP using Fuse, and he might have also put a gluing Explo bomb on the Feka, and he did, or a sticky bomb, I guess they changed the name. So the sticky bomb on the Feka is also going to give him back AP, because next turn he's going to have to boost up his bombs as much as possible. The rogue is going to be playing in a full damage set, as much damage as possible, and it's very important because you're going to need to be able to one-shot the mobs later. You're going to see how it goes. So as I said, he's just going to be kind of pushing the mobs back, and now when the rogue's bombs are here, he's going to start boosting. So he's getting back his AP with Fuse. You guys can kind of see the timeline here. I don't know why the map is bugged. It's a little bit annoying, the way that the tactical mode is showing, but I'm sure you guys can still see. So he's going to fully boost his bombs. You guys can see a little bit what he did. He did double musket over here. Maybe a musket over here. Did he do last breath? He did. And kickback to give some shield points to the bombs over here. So now the bombs have a little bit of shield. So now that was turn 2, fully boosted, and every turn the Fek is alternating with his spells. Inertia, and Barrier, and all those, just to make sure that the Catseye stays in gravity state the whole fight, and basically you're just going to keep the Catseye there the whole fight till it's time to kill it. You can see here that the panda now start to put the people in, and this is turn 2. It's important that the mobs that you put in are the ones that play after the rogue, because, or for example, the king player plays, but he just played. And it's important because you need them to take 3 lines of damage. So he's going to do Imposture, Magnet, or he might do it differently. Yeah, Magnet, and then double Musket here. That way they get fully boosted. And then Strategy again. And it's important that it's the ones that play after, because you need to take triple wall damage. For example, this one didn't die. If it wasn't someone who played after the rogue, then they might have survived, right? And if they survive with the Yoshes, they get damage boost and they would just kill everything. I got a call here. Let's mute that. Anyways, so the rogue now has fully boosted bombs, almost fully boosted. So they're going to keep putting the guys in. You'll notice that they're putting in the ones that play after the Feka. I'm not sure if he's going to choose to put this Queen of Fate. If he does, he's definitely going to want a vulnerability. Yeah, so he does. He does do vulnerability because throwing it in right now without being able to take 3 lines of damage is a little bit dangerous. If he does vulnerability, when I was leeching it, it was fine with my set, but I did have an Ebony Dofus, which he doesn't seem to have. He does have a Jahash Cape though, so that might compensate. 10% damage, that's kind of nice. So he's going to pick him up, throw him in, and you can see the reason is because the Queen of Fate has 30% intelligence resistance, so it's kind of dangerous. So you see the Queen of Fate just rushed in and hit the bomb, which is why it's important to have done that kickback turn 2. Sometimes you can take a little bit of damage. So now he's going to pull in his bombs, strategy, and kind of just redo that bomb line. The Jam Jack also has 40%, so you got to watch out for that. There's another component to the map that you got to watch out for, and it is that these numbers, at the start of their turn, the mobs are going to do a damage inflicted that is put on anyone who has the same number that they are standing on. Let me see if I can explain that better. So you can see back here, it's kind of annoying that I can't show the pointer. It's a little bit frustrating, but so you guys can see back here, there's all these numbers, right? So let's say there's the 6 dice. If you throw a mob back there, then when that mob starts its turn, any other mob that any other person on your team who is also on a number 6 cell is going to take damage. Now that's not that big of a deal because the number 6 ones are just on the edge, and basically you're going to play on the edge with these characters who can't take damage, right? So as long as you don't put them on the edge, it's okay. So it's important to note, when you pick up the mobs and you throw them, do not throw them all the way to the edge unless you're throwing them on these middle ones here, 2, 4, and 2. Just avoid the 6. So then turn 5, the next wave is just about to come. He's going to fully boost his bombs. And now that he's ready, he's going to obviously lock the Catseye again. Let's see if he can go tactical mode. And now the mobs are going to come. He's going to sort of position his Fekas, his Pandawas, around this area here, because he's going to want to pick up the mobs if he can. So he's going to have to stabilize himself, because at the start of the mob's turn, they also have a random effect. It's not exactly random. It has something to do with Catseye, but ideally, at the start of wave 5, you want 1 panda here and 1 panda here. He didn't have the MP to get the other panda there, which is why he just picked it up and threw it. And the reason is because you don't want to let these mobs over here, because sometimes they start with 2 MP boost, and if they start with that, a couple of them can, for example, attract themselves towards you here, or one of them, the Jammy Jack, has a jumping spell. And if they have 2 MP and they start like pretty close, you got to be careful, because they're able to jump into the bomb line, and they don't take damage because they're invulnerable, but they still get boosted with the Great Yosh. And what happens is they come into the bomb line without taking any damage, and they just kill all your bombs because they're invulnerable, and they just got boosted from the Yosh. So what the panda is going to do is he's going to stabilize himself and then pick up the other panda. The stabilization is very important because the mobs actually have a pushing component, and you want to stay here, because if they push you, they could, for example, push the pandas over here, and then another one could push him towards the Catseye, and the whole fight's ruined. So he's going to boost himself. The turn before, he boosted himself MP and then gave himself stabilization. So now he's just going to start picking up the mobs and throwing them in, and that's kind of the cycle. Now the way that you can pick up 4 mobs in the same turn, if you look over here, you can either use release. For example, you can do eviction to bring a mob from behind you to in front of you and release. Or the way I used to do it is I used to do Karcham and then Waterfall. Waterfall is kind of the same, but it attracts you to the mob. But it doesn't attract you to the mob if the mob dies. So the only one you can't do it on is the Jammy Jack because it has 40% intelligence resistance and it doesn't die instantly. But all other mobs, they die instantly when you throw them in the bomb line. So it's quite alright to do waterfall with them. So that way I could pick up one, throw him in with Karcham, pick up another, throw him in with Karcham, and the other two I can pick up and throw in with waterfall because you have 6 uses for Karcham maximum per turn. So you do Karcham 4 times and 2 times waterfall. No, you do Karcham 6 times. Right, because you pick up and throw one mob, that's 2, pick up and throw the other mob, that's another 2, and the other one you only pick up, and then to throw you do waterfall, and that's a different spell, so you can still pick up another mob after that. So now basically what he's going to do, he's just going to pass as fast as he can, waiting for the next wave, because that wave's complete. His pandas are just going to chill here, right in position, 1, 2, 3, 4 from that middle block over here. And as soon as the next wave comes, which is next turn, just before that, the rogue's going to do Last Breath to boost those bombs. Fekka's going to also protect. Another important component that I don't know if I mentioned is you want to invulnerable the bombs on this turn. So you're going to see on this turn, okay, just pay attention to what the Fekka does here. He's going to pick up this one, throw it back there, stabilize himself, and give himself MP for next turn. This one's probably going to give himself MP, stabilize himself, throw this one back there. So you see how this one... Yeah, you see how this one has even more MP? So he's going to throw this one in, and then he's going to pick up that Fekka and the panda and end on his place. See how that one has like an MP boost? That one can also attract itself to you. So if it were to start over here, it could go 1, 2, 3, right? Attract itself, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be in your bomb line, and it's invulnerable, so it wouldn't die. And then it will just kill your bomb line. Kill your bombs. So you see how he just did bunker on that bomb to give it invulnerability, and then the Fekka is going to use that diagonal line of sight there to do Bastion over there. Now the mobs have no choice but to gather around the pandas here because these are invulnerable. There's nothing really to do, so they're kind of, this one's still gonna hit it, but it's invulnerable. The reason he hits it is because he puts like some state on it, but it's not a damaging state. But mobs will still hit if they think they can put a state, even though it's invulnerable. So now this turn, they're just gonna start picking up stuff, throwing him in, and he's gonna lock this one here so that it doesn't do anything weird next turn. He's gonna throw in as much as he can pick that guy up, and it's important to lock him, I guess. I don't know if he's going to pick him up. Yeah, so that one here got the stability boost at the start of its turn. Sometimes you do that so you can't kill them all turn 1. Sometimes they get the stability boost. It has something to do with the Catseye's turn. I can't quite figure it out perfectly. But anyways, so he's going to come here, and now he's just going to lose his rooted state, so they're going to be able to throw it in. And this guy here, he didn't really do anything because he's kind of useless. As long as you lock him and stuff, he's fine. So this panda is going to pick up this panda and prep for him. They're going to get thrown in. Now I'm going to see if he's going to choose to finish on the white cell or if he's going to go there. The reason he might want to finish on the white cell is because they heal you full HP at the end of your turn. So seeing how this panda is a little bit down in HP, it might be important, or he might choose to actually finish on the white cell to finish his HP because he still has a couple turns before the next wave comes in. But I guess he's really trying to push that time. He's trying to bring that time down as much as he can. I know he is, because usually he hovers around 15 minutes, I think. But a lot of French YouTubers can get it under like 12 minutes easy. And I think the record's like somewhere around 8 minutes, even with 8 loot, which is kind of crazy. So basically it's just that repetition. Before the turn that they come, the rogue is going to do Last Breath, which I'm sure he did. And the pandas are going to go there, set up. And basically that's it. You can pick up these mobs on the edge because you see how he gets MP sometimes again. So he has 8 MP, 1, 2. If he attracts himself here, 1, 2, 3, 4, he could easily come in here and ruin everything for you. So this panda here is just going to pick up everything, throw them back there. He's going to come pick up this one that played between the two pandas, kill him. You guys didn't really see him die, but he died. And then he's going to pick up and end here. The mobs are going to crowd around him and they're just going to pick up and throw. And that's kind of how it is until the end of the fight. That's just the cycle. Once we are done with all the mobs, I'm going to show you how he's going to go around killing the Catseys. It's really very simple. And then I'm going to show you the Dofus books or Dofus labs or whatever. I'm just going to show you the sets that I used to use. Anyways, I'll let the rest of the fight play in accelerated. Should I play it like this or like this? I think I'll leave it like this. You guys can see everything more clearly. So I'll let it play like this, accelerated mode, and then I will see you when it's time to kill the Catseye. Alright, so now it's the turn before turn 21, which is turn 20. It's worth noting the Catseye is invulnerable until turn 21. So you're going to see here now the rogue is, the mobs are about to come, so he's going to do last breath. The pandas are here, over here, they're ready. He's going to gravity, and the Catseye is about to be vulnerable. Boom, there you go. So now he's vulnerable. They can kill him. He's not going to choose to kill him yet because he wants to get rid of the mobs first, obviously. So he's going to do the same thing we've been seeing. Let's just watch him do it. He's going to boost himself. He only does stabilization on himself if he's locked. Typically, I don't do stabilization on myself because I don't need it yet. Typically, with my first panda, if I'm not locked, then I'll just pick them up and throw them, and then I'll do stabilization on my other panda, but this works perfectly fine as well. I don't want to confuse you guys, so if that was a bit confusing, just ignore me. So usually he would pick this guy up and throw him in, but he couldn't because he's stabilized. So now the mobs are just going to crowd around again. He's going to make sure to invulnerable this one. And again, yeah, like it's very, I think it's very simple, but if there's any questions or something that you feel like I didn't explain, then feel free to ask me. I feel like I covered everything. The way you throw in 4 mobs, I think I mentioned that. You can either pick up or waterfall, or if they're like behind you over here, let's say you're here and they're here, you can do eviction, which is a 2 AP spell that puts them on the other side of you. So they would go here and then you can release them in. That's another way. But I used to just do the pickup and waterfall. I don't know, he seems to be a fan of the eviction release method. But you know, it works, so there's no issues at all. If there's any questions, remember you can ask me. So now he's just going to get rid of all the mobs. And then he's going to go kill the Catseye, and it's very chill. There's no worries at all because your bombs are fully boosted. You can see here this bomb's at 352 HP though, so it is important to kick back it when you have time. And also that Bastion can also kind of save your life, because sometimes, despite your best efforts, mobs can kind of slip through and hit that diagonal there. So it is important to also do that. The Rogue, now if he wants, he can actually do a Boombot. Yeah, Imposture, Boombot, and Strategy come back here. That's what I would do. Yep, okay, seems to be the case. Strategy, perfect. So he's gonna come here, just attract that Jammy Jack, and then they're both gonna die, and then we're gonna go over and kill the Catseye, and as soon as that's done, I'm gonna show you guys the set. So the way he's gonna kill the Catseye, the way I used to do it is I would come here with both my pandas, the first panda with vulnerability, and then throw the other panda towards him. The other panda would pick him up and then just throw him here. And the way he can throw him behind the wall is using Brandy, I think the spell's called. It's a 4 AP spell that throws behind walls. So he's going to pick him up, Brandy, yeah, there it is. And he's just going to attract and push that bomb back, and that's enough damage to kill. GG, well played. And 16-minute fight, pretty good XP. I would definitely recommend this because... like, I recommend this over Nidas. Now, the fights are a little bit slower. If you're pressed for time, maybe you should consider Nidas. But this is area, the reason it's important also is because it has a 90% reward bonus for experience and loot. Whereas Nidas only has a 30%, and I'm pretty sure it's dropping. Like, soon enough, it's going to be 20%. So right now, the difference of XP is 60%. And I think soon it's going to probably be an even greater. And the other important thing is the drops here are actually worth a significant amount. So if you look, every player here drops north of 100,000 commas worth of resources, and yeah, like whereas in Nidas they're really not worth that much just because of how much it's farmed. So let me show you guys the sets in a second. I just got to build the Dofus labs first, and I will see you in a sec. All right, here it is. So the Feka set that I use is the following: a Drow Hill hat, Mante's cloak, Jessica belt, which is very important. Crocs over here. They don't give MP. They just give luck and a lot of vitality and stuff. Bubotron amulet and the sword also give a set bonus, a little bit of luck, a little bit of agility, and agility also helps for the luck, of course. We've got the Paul Watnos here and a Shylock ring, which gives 15 luck. Now, I only have 8 AP, 4 MP, but that's all I need. Like, I only need enough AP to put him in gravity and maybe Bastion on the thing. And you don't even need an Ivory, because every turn you can do Ataraxy on yourself, which is just as good as an Ivory, if not better, really. So you don't need an Ivory, that would be a waste. You don't need to tank that much, because you're going to see actually on my Rogue, funnily enough, I'll show you in 1 second. But anyways, this is a set, and just an extra bonus tidbit here for you guys. You guys can see that down here I have 359 luck. I do have a lot invested in agility, but what I could actually do is invest a lot less in agility, invest a lot more in vitality if I was looking to tank a lot more. And even though my luck is less here, I can actually cover it using trans runes, because a lot of the things here do have luck, but you can still put trans luck runes on them, because they still work if it's like 10 luck. So if it's like 10 luck, for example, if you put a trans rune plus 6, it'll still stick. So you can get 16 lock here, 16 lock here, so that's plus 12, and maybe you can put a little bit more agility, let's say, but you can also put more lock over here. And another thing you can do is actually put agility trans runes on them, like plus 20, so that's plus 2 lock. I'll actually show you I'll show you some items real quick. And just full lock trophies if you want. You can switch out your emerald for another lock trophy, and then you have more you have more points to put into vitality instead of agility. Kind of your choice, but the bare minimum is 352 lock at the end of the day when you finish your set, and the Aegis has a belt. Otherwise, there is a chance of unlocking. Now, this is the Feka set. The Panda set is just a tank set. You can use whatever you want. You just have to be able to tank. I recommend Abyssal Dofuses and Ivory Dofuses if you can afford them. Definitely Abyssal, 100%. Ivory you can make do without, because with the healing component of the white glyph, if you're careful, you could get by. Like, you don't necessarily need, I don't think he had one like in the fight I just showed you, so it's not that necessary. And for the rogue damage set, actually, let me show you guys what I did in the fight. This is a tip that I picked up online. I actually used the Watcher's Dofus. So this is actually the set that I was using. I actually had Ring Gaiuses and not Shylock's rings, but the Shylock's rings are better. I just didn't have them, and no one was selling them with 15 damage, so I didn't bother. And it's sufficient. So over here I have my Scapu helmet, all this stuff here. You guys can see I have 1,500 intelligence, pretty good fire damage, and this is quite enough. Vulbus Dofus gives you 10% damage boost because you're never hit in the fight, ideally. And Ebony Dofus also gives you 10%-ish. 10% mostly, and then sometimes if you're like doing musket on the dice, it'll go away, but then it'll come back. And then the Watcher's Dofus is important because you're always finishing in line with the Feka. So every turn you're gonna heal him 7%. So it's really gonna help him tank the Catseye, which isn't that hard because when you put the Catseye in gravity state, one of its attacks it can't use. So it can only hit you once a turn, I think, and I'm not sure how you even end up taking damage with Ataraxy, but like you'll take a little bit of damage. And whatever damage you take, the Watcher's Dofus will cover, and it's really like the tanking of the Feka is really very easy. So this is a set that I use for my rogue, and let me show you guys really quick just a couple of like stats just in game so you understand a little bit more what I was talking about over here. So if I actually flip to the game, hold on a sec, so you guys can see like here I have like the Steely Mace. This is mine that I was using, exo range damage, the boots that I was using, and this is what I was talking about with the 20 agility trans rune here. Now this guy a little bit of an idiot, I'll be honest, because he put a trans rune of agility on something with 19 lock, so you know he actually only gave himself +1 lock, whereas he could have maged that 1 lock extra, right, and dropped something like heals. Like, he was just being lazy, I guess. Customer, shame on you. But yeah, so 20 agility over here, but you guys get the idea. That's the whole point. Like the Mante's cape, you could also do the same thing. And there's a couple of other ones where you can put lock and stuff, but anyways, that is the main concept. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helps a couple of you guys leech the dungeon if you so choose to do. And I just want to let you guys know there's more options out there than fucking Nidas. There's better options. And please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, and goodbye.